My guess is that when the history is written 15 or 20 years from now, the huge change in the fossil fuel environment, in fossil fuel potential in the US economy will be judged to have been somewhat more economically significant, though perhaps slightly less geopolitically significant than the current conventional wisdom has it. I say more economically significant because it looks to me like this is going to attract very substantial volumes of direct investment, perhaps approaching 0.5 to 2/3% of GDP a year. Investment that's going to tend to take place in areas like Western Pennsylvania with relatively high unemployment, and that's going to create types of jobs that are going to involve people using physical strength and working with their hands that have been in particularly short supply in the United States, and that those investments are likely to continue for some quite substantial and sustained period of time. That in addition to that, even almost regardless of what policies are pursued, the very low price of natural gas in the United States relative to the rest of the world is a gap that will not be closed within a decade, or close to closed within a decade, and therefore will operate to support a variety of energy-intensive activities in the United States, which will operate to stimulate further investment in manufacturing. So I think the cumulative impact is likely to be quite important. The reason I say it's a little bit less geopolitically important than is often supposed is because it seems to me that some of the discussion makes an error in conflating the United States achieving net fossil fuel, United States or North America, achieving net fossil fuel export status, which is likely to take place by the end of this decade, with an absence of dependence on the Middle East, which I think is not likely over any horizon. It's extremely unlikely that a situation will ever obtain where the price of oil differs by tens of dollars between the United States, Europe, and Japan. And as long as they are substantially dependent on the Middle East, and as long as, broadly speaking, obviously with adjustments for grade and transport costs, there's one world price of oil, the day when we achieve so-called energy independence is not a day when we will achieve insulation from the world oil market, which will still fluctuate and will still be very sensitive to supply developments outside of the United States. So I think the economic impact is somewhat greater and the geopolitical impact is somewhat less than is often suggested.